Hello everyone, this is John Smith from North Carolina, and in this video I hope to show you some materials that I use for making mica chimneys and some of the tools that I use. Welcome to my shop, also known as the Land of the Lost. Here you can see most of my collection. Usually when I'm looking for something it takes forever to find it. But when I do find it, it takes no time for me to lose it again. So what we have in front of us here are three different thicknesses of metal. This first metal, the heaviest, is 0.008 thickness. This is what I first started out with making mica chimneys. This is a tin coated steel, very durable. I left a piece of this outside for a few weeks and it took that long before it ever started to deteriorate or show any kind of rust or anything. So it's very strong, very stout material. Makes a very stiff chimney. Sometimes it can be too stiff and it's a little too unforgiving in my opinion. This chimney right here is a chimney I have made with this metal. This chimney has been blued and it is very stiff. It makes a very strong chimney. But like I say, sometimes it's too unforgiving, especially when you're trying to make this fit down inside the frame of a 327 or 427. Sometimes you need a little more flexibility to make that thing get in there and work properly. And also, if you have a smaller chimney like this one that fits up inside the vent, your lantern may not be straight anymore depending on how old it is and its life that it's had. And you may need a little bit of that flexibility to make that thing work and work well. So this metal, this heavy metal, if you will, is readily available. You can buy this in a 24 by 24 sheet from Van Dyke Restorers. They sell it as punch tin for pie safes. You can also buy it in a package like this aluminum is from K&S Precision Metals. This comes from Hobby Lobby. They sell the same thing, this tin coated steel, in a package like this, 2 sheets, 4 inches by 10 inches. You can cut it to length and use for your uprights, but it's not long enough overall to make the top and bottom rung of your chimneys. But still, you can still use it. You can also buy the same metal from eBay. From the same company, K&S Metals. They sell a longer sheet on eBay if you want to try something that's a little bit heavier. Like I say, one advantage of this is when you roll it, if you look at this chimney, it gives you a very nice round shape. The thinner metals takes a little more work to get that shape. Excuse me. So that's what I started out with. I'm not using this much anymore. I've switched over to something a little thinner, a little more like the originals, and a little easier to work with. So what I have here, this is metal shim, come from McMaster Carr. This is, thickness is 0.004. It's a little thinner than the original, but it is really easy to work with. It bends really well. It's very sharp. It will cut you. I've cut myself numerous times. And I have found that this is best used for the upright pieces in both the large chimneys and the small chimneys, especially when you got an upright like this that's 3 layers. It's a double bend. It allows the mica to come in one side and the mica to come in the other side. So with a thinner metal like this, it works really well for that purpose. So I was looking for something to try to help hold the shape a little better when I rolled the micas, and this is 0.007. Both of these are available, different sizes. I get them in a roll 7 inches wide, 10 feet long. It's about $35 a roll, but that's a lot of material, so you get a lot of good use out of that. The one challenge with this is it is plain steel. There's no coating, so you'll have to do either some bluing like this Birchwood KC Super Blue, or galvanized nickel plate. whatever you want it to do. I'm actually working on some nickel plating. I've got some nickel solution over here in this tub. I've started doing some nickel plating. I'm waiting on some zinc anodes to arrive so I can actually start doing some zinc plating as well. But this 0.007 as your top and bottom rung actually helps the mica to hold a little bit of shape when you do roll it. It still won't just hold its shape completely. You still got to work with it to get a good round shape out of it. With that being said, the way I cut my metal is with just this plain old paper cutter from the office supply store. I don't have anything fancy to cut metal with, and this paper cutter will cut all three of those metals with no issue. Blade's very, very sharp. So if you do use a paper cutter or something like this, be very careful because it will cut you. Okay, so we've covered the types of metals. Here's a few tools that I use. Like I said, Birchwood KC Super Blue does a great job bluing this metal. Marker, orange peel. It's not for peeling oranges in this situation. You'll see later how I use that, and I use this thing very often. Small screwdriver, many uses. Scissors, pliers, spring punch, a couple pair of vice grips, impact with a screwdriver bit, and then a drill with a drill bit. You'll see how both of those are used in a later video as well. And then we've got my rolling pins that I turned on the lathe for the small chimney and the large chimney. That's how I roll my mica. So on to bending, like I said, I don't have anything fancy, no fancy equipment. Most of my stuff's rudimentary, but it works well. This is how I bend my metal. I made this little break. It's nothing more than just a steel angle fastened to a piece of oak hardwood, and basically you have this channel and plate here on top that my metal slides under. I measure what I want to bend, crop that out, tighten these up. I use an impact to tighten those up, makes it much quicker, and I can get a good 90-degree bend from there. So from there, I had to figure out how to even close that bend up even further. So what I did was I took and I made these simple contraptions, a longer vise, if you will, to close up the top and bottom rung, and longer pieces. And I also made this piece, and what this is I took a couple 2x8s, 2x6 or something, and ripped down a couple pieces. Excuse me. And then I basically cut a 15-degree angle off both corners, put them together, and gives you a good 30-degree V-groove. So I lay my metal on here. The thin metal is very easy to work with. I can lay it on here. I can press this metal rule here, and that will give me a 30-degree bend. I lay my longer pieces in here, flatten them out, and I use this sheet metal crimper I got from Harbor Freight for the short pieces. There is a texture, almost like a pattern to the jaws of this thing, so that's why you see that I have put the duct tape, because if you don't and you go to squeezing your metal, it will leave that impression in your metal. So that's why I have those jaws covered up with the duct tape. So that's about it for now. Shoot me a message if you got questions, or can tell me anything to help me improve on what I do, and I'll be glad to share any information with you that I can. Hope you enjoy the video. Look for the next one. We'll get into cutting some metal, we'll bend some, and we'll go from there. And hopefully before too long we can get you the information you need to start making your own chimneys. Thanks for watching.